I tell you people, yo, welcome to the show, live and direct from our studio, Istv. Istv is the only place you catch your vibes. Sit down in the building. Come on, big up everybody. Come on, let's go. All right, beautiful people. Set. And I'm ready, people. The end of the season. This is a special one, special day. It is what it is. All right. I'm going to tell you something. It's all about the award night from Istv crew, people. What a beautiful day. Come on, people. Smash the like on the video. What are you waiting for? Margaret in the building. Study ready. Lady Val, talk to me. You're ready. I'm sure you're ready. Robbie! Come on. They're also in the building. Oh my goodness. So loud. It's all about this grand later game, people. This is how we do it. This is how we roll. First, let me show you what we have. The award nominees straight up. Come on now, let's go. It is what it is. I'm proud we Panther tonight. Liverpool! What's going on, Liverpool? Europa! All right. Ready, people. This is a special edition, people. What are you guys waiting for? Yes! Man United, come on! No long day. All right, let me start by welcoming you all these beautiful people. I tell you, it's going to be loud tonight. Please, if you're watching this for the first time, what are you waiting for? Smash the like on the video. Join the community. This is how we do it. Let's go. Come on. Easy. Margaret, talk to me. Your life. United for life. Can you hear me? Unmute your mic straight up. Maggie, you're welcome to the show. Can you hear me loud and clear? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you, the Dawn.
All right, good to see you after a long time, long break.
Yeah, of course. It's good to be back here once again.
All right. Good to see you too. Good to see you too. Let me welcome this great gentleman. Filing all the way from Lagos, is getting ready to join us for the first time. I'm sure you guys are going to know him. His name is Ibikunle. I call him Kani. Kani, big up. You know Kani. Kani is always handling our fourth spot for taste every Monday. The great guy, the great big guy, Kani. You are welcome to the show. Kani, what's going on, bro? Yeah, can you hear me, Kani? I'm finding it difficult to. Yes. Can I? Yeah. Talk to me. You're welcome to the show, bro. Take your mic. I can hear you very well. Yes. I think it's coming in back and forth. Unmute your mic. Then let's welcome you joining us on this show. It's gonna be a beautiful day, people. You know what I mean? Yeah. Can you hear me
now, Don?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yes,
yeah, thank you very much for having me. It's my first time on this particular show.
Yes.
Thank you. Hello, Maggie. It's nice meeting you. And let's get the show rolling.
All right, let's get the show rolling. Come on, smash it back on the video for this great guy joining us tonight. And I want to welcome this great, beautiful lady, Lady Val, with this music. Leave me alone, that's what the music. Leave me alone, I'm going to rope her. Come on, let's go. Lady Val, you're welcome.
Yeah, hello everybody. Good to be here, you know. And special greetings to the fans, their team will be playing Europa next season, you know. So let's see what we have to do today. Today will be gospel, so it's good to be here, guys. Yeah.
All right, let me welcome this great man again. His name is Robbie. Robbie. What's going on? Good
evening to you, the Don. Good evening to the ladies. Lady Val, Maggie, good evening to Kani.
Yeah, good evening.
Well, it's good to be back on the show once again. And of course, I don't even know where to start from at this point in time. So let me just keep smiling. Let me just keep laughing because I know that the antagonist will soon be on the platform. That is Prof. and that is AE. So I'm actually looking forward to what the two of them have got to say because for Prof, he said Frank Lampard is more or less like Mr. Feel good vibes. 2 wins in 24 games. I tell you, that is not such a very, very good vibe you want to have around your club. But let us hear what they have to say. So on that note, I say good evening, and of course, let us get this party started.
All right, let's get it started. Let's get it rolling. All right, let me welcome this good gentleman as well. Sheye is in the building. Sheye is ready. Yeah. Hey, it was 4-1 last night. Can you hear me loud and clear? You're welcome to the show.
Good evening, everybody. It's great to be back. Yes, I know it was 4-1 last night. I saw the game in fits and stats. I was not surprised. Really. I think I said this on. I keep saying this. I said this on the show a few weeks back that Chelsea were only going to get 4 points from their remaining games, which are going to be against Forest and Bournemouth. So the other games are going to be bound to be defeat, and I think it's following that pattern. So I expect another loss against Newcastle on Sunday to close out such a miserable season. So on that note, welcome to it's great to be back on the show, really.
All right, welcome, gentlemen, and let me say gentlemen and ladies joining us on this show. Today is Friday, as you all know, and it's going to be massive. You know, we want to talk about the award. It's showtime. It's a beautiful time to talk about some of the nominees, the categories we want to look into on this show. First of all, I'm going to ask from you, from Kani joining us for the first time. We're looking at the League of English Premier League. How do you see the season? How do you want to look at the season in general? Talking about 2022, 2023 of EPL. How do you see it in general? Your mic, I can't hear you very well. But you can hear me?
Yeah, I can. I said
All right. Now talk. Yeah, I can hear you now.
It's the best league in the world for a reason. It's the most watched league in the world for a reason. Billionaires come around, buy clubs for huge amounts. Clubs spending huge amounts. This season has not been different. It's been as exciting as every other season. Obviously, there have been a few surprises, like the form of Chelsea, Liverpool not making the Champions League, Newcastle returning into the Champions League spot for the first time in many years since the Alan Shearer era. Man United having, sort of a rebuild, Haaland and his craziness in the Premier League, breaking all the records here and there. Arsenal, Arteta, the youngest side in the league, pushing Pep Guardiola and his Man City side down to the wires. Southampton, a perennial Premier League team, getting relegated. The relegation tussle. There's still Leeds United. There's Everton and all of these guys. So the league has not been short of excitement. It's been exciting for me. I'm a Man United fan, like you rightly know, Don. It's been exciting for me because we eventually returned to the Champions League.
I tell you.
You understand? And knocked out one of our biggest foes in Liverpool. The fact that we knocked Liverpool down to the Europa League is very beautiful for me. So for me, basically, I'd probably give this season an 8/10 in terms of excitement.
All right, 8/10 in spite of excitement. Sheye, what will you rate? But first, let me welcome Irate. Irate is joining us as well too. Irate, what's going on, bro? Talk to me. How you doing?
Hey, bro, doing good. Good to be here. Last weekend of the season. Excited.
Yeah. Irate, let me tell people, to remind people, Irate is a Liverpool fan. Be watching on Thursday, every Thursday.
Yeah, we're back to Europa, but it's just for a short while. We'll be back to where we belong.
Oh, sure. Are you sure it's just for a short while?
Are you
Yeah.
Definitely,
See.
100%.
Okay, let's see.
All right, let's see. All right, let's move. I'm going to welcome Kunle. Also, is joining us. Also, a Manchester United fan. Kunle, I'm going to ask you just 1 minute. How are you going to rate the season 2022-2023 that just is about to wrap up? How do you rate
Uh,
the season?
well, for me, it's been it's been a fantastic season. I mean, the highlight being that Newcastle United defied the odds and made the top four, which I think is credence to what Eddie Howe has done since
Yeah.
he came to the club in the middle of last season. They were in the relegation zone when he came, and
Yeah.
all the way from was in 19th, they finished in the top 10, and now they are, they've secured top four, so that's good. And then of course Brighton. There are so many teams that have done exceptionally well. You see, I'm always intrigued by when other teams that you feel wouldn't really achieve much do the extraordinary. Manchester City obviously would have won the title, and it ended. That was it at the end of the day. But you have to look at also the likes of Brighton, Brentford,
Fulham.
Fulham. Yes, they've been exceptional because you will be thinking these clubs will be bottom half, but they're in the top half of the table. While the
Yes.
likes of Chelsea, we know where they are.
All right. Let me welcome. Kule, be careful. Be careful. Be careful.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
All right, Prof. Prof, talk to me here on the show right now. We're about to go into the Istv Cruise Season Award. Prof, you're welcome to the show. How are you going to rate the season so far, 2022, 2023? How are you going to rate it? You're welcome, Prof. Talk to me straight up.
Good evening, good evening. I mean, it's a bittersweet show today because it's probably the end of the last show before the season ends, and pretty much, we have to do without football for the next 2 months,
Yeah.
Premier League football. So yeah, it's sad, but yeah, we have to go on. It's been a fantastic season, honestly. I mean, for me, I enjoyed the season because Arsenal didn't win the title. But it was bad season for Chelsea. So in that regard, I didn't enjoy the season at all. I didn't get to see my team, who are usually of high standards. We didn't see them perform. They were shambolic this season, and so in that regard, it was a very very bitter season. But all in all, we enjoyed it. It was competitive. Likes of Brighton and Newcastle coming out of pretty much nowhere and surprising everybody. So yeah, that was a very very great season, competitive season.
All right, that's a very good season. I'm going to ask you, Maggie, do you enjoy this season? I'm talking about 2022-2023 EPL that's about to wrap up on Sunday. How do you rate the season? Let me hear from you, Maggie.
Oh wow. I think it was a very fantastic season, I must say. And apart from the usual, we all predicted that Man City would definitely win the league. We all knew about that, but at least we saw something different this season. We saw Arsenal coming. The first, I'm sorry, I think I don't really get his name. He said something that Arsenal pushed City all the way. No, I don't think so. They did not push City. Actually, City pushed Arsenal till pushed Arsenal to a particular point. Yeah, because Arsenal were on top of that league for months, and we all expected them to win the league. And all of a sudden, City will always be City. And they said, thank you for being placeholder for me. They came back and grabbed what actually belonged to them. Then we saw the likes of Brighton. Oh my God. But I was actually thinking the MVP of Brighton was actually Potter. But I think they all got me wrong. The present manager got me wrong. He is actually the MVP of Brighton. He took Brighton to Europa League for the first time in their history. They played fantastic football, great football, and they were able to hold it on with the big boys. They were not scared. They came out. They played great football, and then Newcastle also. Wow, Eddie Howe came in from championship side, not as if he was one of a coach with a fantastic CV. No, he did not have that. But with the little by the board players, I won't say they were world class players, but he was able to turn that team around to a world class team, and they are now in the Champions League. They are now the likes of Brentford, the likes of Nottingham Forest. Well, you said they're actually down, they escaped relegation, but at least for them to do that, it means that these guys actually were ready for the Premier League this outgoing season. So it was all good. And then Manchester United, I must say, new manager,
And then, though they've not really lived up to their expectations, but at least they were able to, struggle and up there. So it was a great season and fantastic one for City, being able to, I actually did not want that. Being able to match up with Man United, winning 3 in a row, good one for them. The good thing is that everything still remains for Manchester now, so no wahala.
All right, I'm going to ask Irate. How do you feel about this season that is about to wrap up? How do you rate it?
It's been a very good season, very entertaining, full of quality. Many teams that we thought couldn't pull up trees actually did very well. Fulham coming from relegation, made the top 10. Marco Silva has done a brilliant job with that team. Also, Brighton, with De Zerbi, Brentford. These teams have done, even Aston Villa, that were very close to the relegation zone, got rid of Gerrard and brought in Emery. So that just tells you about the quality we have in the Premier League, where the likes of Tottenham, who is a regular top 6 team, are fighting to make the Conference League on the final day of the season. So it's been full of quality. We had 3 teams, or 7 teams, including billionaire squad Chelsea at one point, trying to avoid relegation. So that shows it's a very, very competitive season. But even going to the final day of the season, we have about 4 teams still in danger of relegation. So most of the time we get maybe 2 teams or even the 3 teams down already. So it's been very, very competitive. And many of the teams that we usually rank lower in the table or mid-table are trying to get up there. Also, the highlight of it all is Newcastle winning the making the Champions League places. I mean, Man City winning the league is not a surprise. Even when Arsenal were there, we knew they were caretakers for that position until the real owners were able to get back their position. Then I think for me, the only disappointment is Liverpool eventually we didn't make the top 4. But like I said, we'll be back. I know you like it. We'll be back next season.
I like it. All right, let's get this show started. Guys, we want to talk about the categories we have here. We have the worst signing of the season. We have the best signing of the season. We're also going to talk about the club disappointment of the season. I know that one for sure. And also, best game of the season. There's so many so fantastic game. And also, the club of the season. Now, let's get it started. Let me scroll to... Now, I have someone calling in. It says, Liverpool back to the wilderness. All right. They said they are back to the wilderness. I'm talking about Liverpool. Nice one from YMXL. Big up, bro. So we have 2 clubs. Let's quickly look at it, guys. Let's dissect it. I'm going to start with you. Club of the season. Maggie, which one are you going to go for?
Club of the season.
Yeah, we have Newcastle and Brighton. It's right there on the screen. Please, if you are watching us, you can drop your comments. We're going to read it out. Which club of the season will be for you? Is it Newcastle or Brighton? I'm starting with you, Margaret.
Club of the season. Well,
yes, I'm
I think I will go with Brighton.
Brighton.
Yes, Newcastle. Yes, did pretty well. They qualified for Champions League, but you can't take that fantastic football away from Brighton. You can't take away the fact that Potter left. Potter left for Chelsea, and when he went for Chelsea, I was thinking that we're going to see Brighton struggling, but to our greatest surprise, they brought in another fantastic manager, though not well known, and he was able to make Brighton also one. In fact, when it comes to, sometimes when you're seeing Fixture and then you see Brighton playing Man United or Brighton playing Liverpool or Brighton playing any of these big teams, you get really scared because they will definitely get something out of it. The kind of fear you have for Brighton, I actually don't have it for Newcastle, but Brighton, I know they can hold it.
So
So
you're
I give
saying
it to
Brighton.
Brighton.
All right.
Yeah.
Kunle, yeah, I'm going to ask on my list here, Kunle, which club is for you the club of the season? Newcastle or Brighton? One person has said Brighton. So Brighton ticking right now?
Newcastle is actually my own team of the season. Even if,
Newcastle. Why do you say Newcastle, bro?
it's not because it's even in this list. That is personally my team of the season because Newcastle have defied every expectation. I mean, I think for me, Newcastle were the most balanced and consistent side in the Premier League this season. I mean, if you look at how they played all season, you wouldn't say Newcastle struggled. I don't think you would say, okay, there were some games where maybe the likes of Man City struggled and other teams, even Arsenal. But Newcastle always had a way of, being calm in their games, like no pressure. And for me, that is the height of what Eddie Howe has done in that team. I mean, no team was able to brush aside Newcastle. I don't know what their biggest defeat was this season, but I don't think Newcastle. And I think, let's not forget, Newcastle have conceded the least amount of goals. So that means Newcastle have the best defense in the league.
All right, so you're going for Newcastle.
Straight up.
All right, I'm going to ask Kani. Kani, talk to me. Club of the season. Which one is there for you? Is it Newcastle or Brighton? Go for it, bro. Can you hear me, Kani?
Yeah, I definitely can. For me, the club of the season is for me Newcastle. It has to be Newcastle, like Kule rightly said. I was previously torn between Newcastle and Brighton, but we need to understand that this is a Newcastle side that has tons of money to spend. But they've really not even started spending that money. They've not started spending what everybody expects them to spend. Their owners are by a mile the richest owners in the Premier League. I think they're about, if I'm not wrong, about 10 times richer than the owners of Manchester City. And their most expensive signing is Alexander Isak, who has done fantastically well in the season for Newcastle. So it has to be Newcastle, bringing in Eddie Howe, a manager that was previously sacked by Bournemouth. Can you imagine that when a manager that was sacked by Bournemouth comes over to this side and for some reason just leads them to the Champions League? They looked really settled this season. They brought in Nick Pope for free after his contract at Burnley expired. I think they only paid about 11 million for contract fees and that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You understand? They brought in Alexander Isak for about something million euros. Remember that they brought in Bruno Guimaraes in January for about 35 million euros. And you look at these players and they are not. You can't even call them stars, not to talk of superstars. Because for me, I grade players. I look at talent, I look at usefulness. Then there's certain players that you call stars, and there's certain players you call superstars. These Newcastle players are not even stars. You look at Dan Bond, he was bought for £8 million from Brighton. At Brighton, they felt him surplus to requirements. He came to Newcastle. He's in that defense, one of the meanest defenses in the whole of Europe. You look at Fabian Schär. These were the same guys that Steve Bruce could not get anything out of. It's not like they were relatively new guys. Don't forget, Joelinton was brought in for £40 million as a striker. Eddie Howe found a way to play him as a midfielder, and it has worked.
Yeah.
They brought in Willock from Arsenal for £25 million. This was a guy that could not even get a starting bet in an Arsenal side that was not even as solid as they've been this season. And he's in Newcastle. Look at him. He's brilliant, different, a different
So
type of
you're
player.
not saying, because of our time, you're not saying you're going for Newcastle?
Definitely.
All right, two people going for Newcastle. Also, we have a comment from one of us saying YMX Highways, big up bro. It says Newcastle anytime, any day over Brighton. All right, I'm going to move on to Irate. Please, which club is in Newcastle or Brighton club of the season? Irate.
For me, it's clearly Newcastle for me. I mean, Brighton has played good football, no doubt, but Newcastle have defied the odds, they've defied expectations. I was listening to one of the executives saying the aim for this season is the top 6, but they eventually made the top 4. So, they are way ahead of schedule regarding what they expected for their development. And they've not even signed world beaters yet. I mean, they've only signed, Isak, most expensive, 70 million. But they brought in players like Pope, Botman, and even Trippier. who has been a fantastic player this season. So for me, it has to be Newcastle. Newcastle for me.
All right, Newcastle. Lady Eva, I'm coming straight over to you right now. Which club are you going to settle for as the club of this season? Is it Newcastle or Brighton? Talk to me. Don't tell me it's Liverpool, or else I'm going to end the stream. I'm going to end the stream. Don't say that.
No, actually, not taking away from what Brighton have done so far, but I have to say Newcastle.
Right, she's saying Newcastle
because like they already mentioned, when no one thought Eddie Hall would, like Newcastle owners to go for Eddie Hall. Nobody. We were thinking they'll go for the top managers. They went to bring a coach that took. I think he went. He took Bournemouth to relegation. That was 3 years ago. He came in. We were expecting, just normal average, maybe top 10 at most, but they made top 4. And then the players as well. I remember when the new owners came. There was this thing everybody was saying they will go for Messi, even Salah, But the players he used, he improved those players. I think everybody from the keeper to the defense to the midfield to the forward, everybody is firing. Everybody has improved. See Almiron. I think not quite long ago, the best or the key player in Newcastle has to be St. Maximin. But now you can see everybody in that team is doing so well. So for me, definitely, it has to be Newcastle. They've actually
Newcastle.
You guys have to know something. Fine, Newcastle they're doing great, but have we thought about this Brighton team? Come on. Do you know? Have you looked at the squad?
Give them money. Give them money. Bribe them.
They don't have money. They don't have money like Newcastle.
All right. Hold on.
Those guys are you saying?
Hold on, Margaret. Hold on for 1 second. Let's wrap up this. Shaya, I'm coming over to you before then. After Shaya, I'll talk to Robbie. Shaya, talk to me. Is it Newcastle? Is it Chelsea? Oh, sorry. Is it Brighton? Talk to me.
You need to know that you can't shame Chelsea anymore because you can't shame the shameless.
It's all right.
You can't shame the shameless.
It's all right.
So I would go for Brighton because I feel their model. To be fair, I'm actually quite impressed with both clubs. I feel with Newcastle, like everybody has actually explained, the fact that they've gone about their approach differently to what we actually thought. We all thought they would go for big names, big money signings, but apparently they've been going for they've been scouting pretty efficiently. But I have a bias for Brighton. I feel their model searching for players who are relatively cheap and then building them up into world beaters. When they came into the Premier League, they were more or less a team that played defensive football. But under Graham Potter, they were able to evolve into a decent to good unit, a mid-table side essentially. And under De Zerbi, they've now evolved into an even better side. So I'll go for Brighton because I feel ultimately, if they keep making these steps, I think we might see them even challenging for the top 4 spots in the nearest future.
Even without Millionaire's owner, look at them.
Yeah, you're making sense. Now, Robbie, over to you. Is it Shooting Stars of? Oh, sorry. Talk to me. Newcastle or Brighton? Go for it, Robbie. Which one are you settling for, Robbie? I can't hear you. Oh, Robbie, I can't hear you. To be honest, I lost Robbie there. Jump in and jump out. Over to you, Prof. Prof, talk to me. Is it Newcastle or Brighton?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the toss of the coin, but I'll go for Brighton because pound for pound, I think Brighton are the best team in the league. We have to realize that they lost players. I mean, the crew have been talking about Newcastle signing players. Isak and co for millions and millions, Gomeres. But this is a Brighton team that, first of all, lost their manager and they lost their key players in Trossard. Chelsea bought their best player last season, Cucurella. They lost Bissouma and they brought in De Zerbi, who for me is a manager to watch out for. I think is the next big thing. I think when you talk about Arteta, you talk about, I think you have to start looking at managers like De Zerbi who are very meticulous. The style of play is very enticing. It's second to just Man City alone for me in almost the whole of Europe. The way De Zerbi plays his football is exceptional. I mean, I saw the game last night and De Zerbi was making a joke that he didn't get possession over Pep Guardiola. That's the standards that he's setting for this Brighton side. So the style of play is so enticing. I think pound for pound, like I said, they are the best team in the league, and so I'll go for Brighton.
He's going for Brighton. Prof says it's Brighton all the way. Hey, you're welcome to the show. Talk to me. Which one is it, Newcastle or Brighton for you? Which one? Talk to me.
Good to be on the show. Initially on the group, you mentioned who's selecting our club of the season. I apparently selected Arsenal and Newcastle. But now that we have between Newcastle and Brighton was the third team of the season, if I'm not being so fanatic concerning Arsenal. But if I'm to choose between Brighton and Newcastle, I think looking at it now, looking at the way everybody has analyzed, I know Newcastle, fits the bill. But if you now look at it, in a realistic and with a better eye view, I think Brighton surpassed their expectation this season. Despite looking at where they finished last season and how they started the season, and with nobody looking at them, but they've been able to grow. And look at what De Zerbi has done. He has really, really been fantastic. And Newcastle, the project didn't start this season. The project started last season. So everybody should not forget so soon. It's not as if Newcastle just started this season. The Newcastle project started last season, they built on it, and now they were able to get into Champions League. But Brighton from nowhere didn't have a project, didn't have anything, but they surged on, bringing in a new manager, and he was able to take them to that level of playing in Europe. I think Brighton for me, though Newcastle too will end their flowers, but Brighton deserves it. Comparing these two teams.
All right, Brighton deserve it for you. I think I lost Robbie. I couldn't hear Robbie. So on my list,
I'm back.
Robbie, you have to. I can hear myself.
I'm here with you. Can you hear me now?
All right, talk to me.
All right, I would go for Brighton. I won't dilly-dally over it. Brighton lost their coach. That was in January. Brought in a new manager, and of course, they lost big stars, just like Ace rightly said. And I think with the new talent we have seen, it just tells you how exciting that team is to watch. So for the fact that they defeated United, defeated Arsenal, and of course held Man City, that is in this last stretch, it tells you that something special is actually going on at that club. So for me, I'll go with Brighton.
All right. From my list right here, I think the final we have for Brighton is five votes for Brighton, while Newcastle 4 votes. So all the way, so it's going to be Brighton, the club of the season. Big up to Brighton. Brighton won the club of the season. All right, on to the next one. It's going to be the best game of the season. The nominees, we have Man City 4-1, Arsenal. Is it that Liverpool 7-up versus Manchester United 7-0, and also Newcastle 3-3 with Man City. Another one, Arsenal versus Bournemouth 3-2, and the last one, Newcastle versus Spurs 6-1. I'm going to start with you, Margaret, again. Which game is the best game of the season for you? Before it is 1 minute. Yeah, go for
Newcastle.
Yes.
It's actually Newcastle versus Spurs. Under 22 minutes, they were able to give Spurs. They were leading Tottenham by either 5 goals or so. So I give it to Newcastle. It was the Newcastle, was the best game.
All right. Moving on to Kanye right now. Which one is the best game of the season for you? Talk to me, Kanye.
It's a very tough one because first of all, I'm a Man United fan, like I said, and we were smashed 7-0. It's nice thing to see. Man City 4-1. Newcastle, what's the score again? Newcastle who?
6-1. Newcastle Tottenham 6-1.
And Arsenal Bournemouth. I think I think I'll go for Newcastle Man City because I saw that game and it was brilliant football. That was the first time. That was the first time this season that I saw a team go toe to toe with Manchester City. Obviously, in other games they happened, but the first time this season, because I remember Newcastle were up 3-0 in that game, or maybe 2-1 or something. I remember that game quite all right. Alan had about 8 touches or 7 touches in the whole of the first half. So I'll go with that game. That game was exciting. He had goals, he had vigor, he had tackles, he had everything. Newcastle Man City 3-3.
All right, straight up to Kunle. Kunle, which one is going to be your best game of the season among all these ones we're showing on the screen? Talk to me, Kunle.
For me, I will go with what Kani said. It is definitely Newcastle and Newcastle 3, Manchester City 3. I feel that's actually the best game because this was a game. If we remember very well, Newcastle were leading 3-1 in the first half. And that is something you hardly see. These people went toe to toe with Manchester City, and I think that was actually where I believed that look, what Newcastle is doing is no fluke, and we can see where they have ended where things have ended up for them at this end of the season. So that game had everything. It had everything. So that's the best game of the season for me.
All right, moving on to Irate. Irate, which one is your best game of the season? Please, you can remove that 7-0, please. Irate, I know what you are going to say. I know.
I mean, I enjoyed every minute of that trashing. Honestly.
Can you imagine?
No, for me, no other game. I mean, maybe as biased as a Liverpool fan, but that game was.
But where has the trashing taken Liverpool to?
Don't worry now. Next season we'll be back.
All right.
So the game before that game, Ten Hag and Man United, you guys were on a good run, winning games, and everyone was so. I mean, I can remember I was having a combined 11 and there was no Liverpool player. And I told you guys all of this won't matter in the weekend.
Try.
And Man United went from possible title challengers, I think we were 5 points behind Arsenal, straight back to just top 4 challengers. So that game was a significant game that took Man United, our arch rivals, away from title conversation back to top 4 conversation. So for me, that is my game of the season.
All right, 7-0, 7-up. Now moving on to Lady Va. The same thing. Can we move on?
I think Irate just read my mind. Now it's not about me being a Liverpool fan. It was not just the best game. It was like the most entertaining game of the season. Like he said, Man U, their shoulders were high. I think they just won the Carabao just a week or so before that game, and they were feeling on top of the world, And then that 7-0 goals were just coming from nowhere. I've never seen Man United so helpless this season. Everybody was just devastated what was happening. So I really, really enjoyed that game. The fact that they could not even score a goal, So that was the best thing for me.
All right, let me quickly move on. Thank you.
No, you people realize that game was a fluke, right?
And then who last?
No, that game was
I don't know why you guys are picking one-sided games.
Like, you don't understand. We're talking about the best.
I'm telling you, that was one-sided game. The other team were helpless.
See, even if it was Manchester United that won that game 7-0, and it was as one-sided as it was, I can't put it as my game.
So whose fault is it that it's one-sided? Did you tell you not to turn up for the game?
You guys did something to the
class. I mean, that's not our problem as Liverpool fans. United are our rivals for several years, and we got the better of you 7-0 at Anfield.
At the end of the
day, it should have been game that both sides were able to come toe to toe. Fire for fire, not one-sided game. The other team were helpless after 1-0. Fine, we understand the old fatigue. Man U were still in a Europa League. They just won the Carabao Cup. They were still in FA Cup. Fatigue and all of that. Liverpool were not in any other competition at all. So So you can expect that they will be playing.
We were in the Champions League.
In a week. Wait, in a week. Yeah, fine, Champions League. In a week, Man United played. Do you know how many games they played? Yeah. The list before that time, Man United actually played the most games in Europe. So it wasn't like I am actually not trying to give an excuse for Man United, but that was what we saw. It was fatigue.
Alright, we see your level. We don't go green.
Because
you guys could have mentioned
I
that
actually played 30 games in 10 days.
Yeah, that's Liverpool Spurs 3-3, right? I had that in mind actually.
But we played 10 games in 30 days, so that's not easy. So I'm just supporting what Maggie said. Fine, it was a good result, but for me it was fluke. And if we're talking about the best game of the season, that's a game that had everything. Game that had goals, that had defense.
All right, let me move on.
When we repeat it next season, you will know it's not fluke.
It won't happen. Come on, what are you saying? It won't happen. It won't happen.
Let me talk to Sheye.
The class was sleeping everybody.
Sheye, talk to me. Which one is the game of the season for you?
I think personally, I won't even have the Liverpool Man U match and the Newcastle Spurs game in this list. Because like Kunle actually said, those were one-sided games. There's nothing exciting about a one-sided game, but I feel we saw several entertaining on the edge of your seat games throughout the season. For me, I'm surprised Arsenal 3, Man U 2 did not make it to this list. But going by this list, it's a tough choice for me between Newcastle 3, Man City 3, and Arsenal's 3-2 win over Bournemouth. But I just feel, given the even though Arsenal didn't win the league, given how tight that game was, given how Arsenal had to fight from 2 goals down to actually win at the death, at the time we all thought that was Arsenal more or less marching on to the title, even though they more or less fell short. So I will go for Arsenal 3, Bournemouth 2.
Arsenal 3, Bournemouth 2. Arsenal 3, Bournemouth 2. Okay. I'm going to call upon Robbie. Which one is
well, for me, I would go with the Newcastle 3, Manchester City game 3. Why? Because Kevin Trippier scored a beautiful free kick in that game, and that was one game that made Manchester City realize how difficult the task ahead of them was, despite the fact that they had Erling Haaland on the field. And just like Sheye said, I'm actually surprised that the Southampton Arsenal game actually did not make this list, because this is another game that was very exciting. Southampton were 3-1 up at halftime, and of course, we all know how Arsenal had to fight for their life to come back and, of course, draw that game. So, for me, overall, I would go with Manchester City 3, Newcastle 3. That is my game of the season.
All right. Let me move on. Prof, talk to me. Which one is the game of the season for you, Prof?
Yeah, personally, I said it already in the group. It's Newcastle 3, Man City 3. I think the game was played on the 21st of August before the World Cup. So a lot of people don't remember the game because the World Cup has made the season look a little bit longer. So we don't remember what happened in the game. It was a very intense game, end-to-end football. You know, Newcastle City scored first, and Newcastle came back with 3 goals. And you know, everybody thought City were going to go down. They were going to lose the game, and they came back and got a draw from the game. So it was a very, very exciting game. Like the boy said, Kanye and Sheye, there's nothing exciting about Liverpool. I think the only people who are going to be excited about Liverpool winning 7-0
are the Liverpool fans. Yeah, I read time.
But for we neutrals, you know, we are Newcastle Man City game.
Don't mind them.
Them.
All right, Hayes, talk to me. Which one is the best game of the season for you? Hayes, I want to hear you.
Well, I never knew we had politicians. Manchester United all of a sudden turned into politicians. I don't want the Liverpool. Sorry, see, we need to look deeper into this. I'm a neutral. I don't have any form of bond with Liverpool or Manchester United. But these are 2 rivals. These are 2 teams that have rivaled. You know, the rivalry between them is in the continuum. You can't stop it. It keeps going on. And this was a game that was poised. Manchester United were on the back of winning the Carabao Cup, and their fans were pumped up, saying if we win this, doing the mathematics already, saying if we win these games, if we win these number of games, we'll be 5 points behind Arsenal leading. And you go to Anfield and you get thumped 7-0, and you're telling me a Newcastle game versus Man City at the beginning of the season that had nothing.
Exactly.
So, wait, are you saying because now you
have done a 7-up for you? Perfectly said.
Hey, don't interject. Let me just round up. I just want to round up on my opinion.
All right, what's your opinion? Please give me, because of our time. Give me the best game.
Best game is still Liverpool. Liverpool against Manchester United, getting thumped 7-0. The reason I want to say that is I don't know if you remember 2011-2012 season. I don't remember the season Manchester United defeated Arsenal 8-2. Manchester United didn't win the league that season, but at the end of the season, they kept saying that was the game of the season because they defeated a rival in Arsenal 8-2. So regardless, Liverpool thumping Manchester United 7-0 is my best game of the season. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. On this note, we're picking Newcastle 3, Manchester City as the best game of the season. Best game of the season, 3-3. That's the result coming out from the INEC office of Istv crew. It is what it is.
We need to see the ECM form.
You know the game. Our server is down. All right, guys, this is so funny. Beautiful people. Smash the like on the video wherever you're watching from. What are you waiting? Please give us this like and share this video right now. It's happening right now, right here. Now, the best signing of the season. I'm going to start with you again.
Sorry, before you go, I think you made a mistake. I'm seeing down Union's picture here. I don't know what it's looking for. It must be a mistake.
Don't let Irene hear that. Yeah, you'll be. Oh, okay, let me tell you something.
Don't mind him. Don't
go to court.
Honestly, this category, I don't think we can waste time in this category. It should be straightforward.
Yeah, but everybody can have different opinion.
Okay, I mean, yes.
Let me ask from Margaret. Margaret, I'm going to start with you. Best signing of the season.
How did Darwin Núñez get into this list? Please, erase that man in the middle, please.
Go to court. We are waiting for you in court. Go to court. All right. Maggie, which one is the best signing of the season?
Signing of the season. Yeah. Even if you close your eyes, you ask, even if you're sleeping and in my dream, who else now? Haaland.
Haaland. They said Haaland straight up.
See, let me just quickly say something. At the beginning of the season, when Man City actually bought him, I was one of the few people that actually said. I said on, I think we had a show on Top Radio, and I said that Haaland would definitely flop. That was what I felt, because I said this is England. This is not Dortmund. He won't be able to do the same magic, the same scoring of goals that. Same way he did at Bundesliga. He would not light up England. But, man, this guy got me wrong. He is the signing of the season.
All right. I think straight up, everybody's going to say Erling Haaland. But I'm going to go for Casemiro. I call him Casemiro. He is the best signing of the season.
Even Casemiro will not pick himself. Casemiro call.
I'm not going for Haaland. So
yes, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not going for Haaland at all.
Yes, Kule, talk to me.
You have always driven against strategy. I'm not surprised. You have always driven against traffic, so I'm not surprised.
Thank you very much. Yes, for me, I wouldn't go for Erling Haaland because even without his presence, we saw how Manchester City have been dominant in past seasons. Yes, maybe they've moved up a notch this season, without a doubt, at least in this second, towards the concluding part of this season. But Manchester City are a team that, we know very well that, I mean, they won the league without an out-and-out striker last season, right? And I'm sure they can do it again. I mean, that is Pep Guardiola's modus operandi, right? He prefers to play without an out-and-out striker on a normal day. This is the first time we are seeing him use an out-and-out striker, and it worked. You understand? So, I would say there is nothing surprising about Erling Haaland because Manchester City are a well-built team. So, and Guardiola knows how to work his magic on players. I mean, we've all seen how the likes of Jack Grealish have improved, and also it was clear that as Haaland was coming, he was going to get goals. Like, maybe not as much as he did. But it was
I just want to ask you a question.
All right.
So in the case of Casemiro, I will go for Casemiro because
Manchester City has scored over 100 goals this season in all competitions.
Yeah, but it's not the first time.
Hold on, sorry. Do the mathematics. Let me just. I'm not going to stay long. Do the maths. Okay. Take out the chunk of goals Haaland has scored this season. Do the subtraction. Let us give me the remainder.
Even if you subtract Haaland's goals, Manchester City will get it. They will get it from other players because it's not. This is not the first time City have scored up to 100 goals. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, I would pick Casemiro as the signing of the season because it was very clear. It has been clear for, I think, since Alex Ferguson retired, or let me say post Alex Ferguson, that Manchester United never had a proper defensive midfielder that could hold. You understand? That could connect both the defense and the attack. That was why. I mean, we are all here where we all say the combination of Scott McTominay and Fred and all the other midfielders that United used to use. But this guy came and United were able to keep clean sheets this season. I mean, they've only conceded 5 goals. The goal against Chelsea yesterday was the 5th goal United has conceded at Old Trafford this season. And I think it is down to Casemiro's presence. Although you can say, okay, Lisandro Martinez or something, but Casemiro has been very key. And I mean, everyone.
All right. How about the away records? You can't take away the
guys because of our time. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, please. Hold on a second. Let me quick because of our time. Now, I'm going to just ask which one, and just give me the answer. Is it Erling Haaland or Casemiro? I'm going to ask Sheye, which one will you go for, Erling Haaland or Casemiro?
Casemiro for me. I think Haaland is the boring answer, so I'll go Casemiro.
Casemiro. Casemiro says by Sheye. I'm going to ask Robbie. I'm
going for Erling Haaland.
All right, Lady Va, let me bribe you. Which one are you going for, Erling Haaland or
Viking, Erling Haaland?
Irate, which one are you going for, Erling Haaland or Casemiro?
I don't think we should be having a round robin about this thing, honestly. It's visible to the blind and audible to the deaf.
All right, Erling Haaland. Kani, do you have different opinion?
Nah, I think it's Haaland for me.
Haaland. All right, let's move on. It says it's Erling Haaland. Give it to him. It's Erling Haaland is the best signing of the season. Let's move on to this is where we are going now. Disappointment of the season. Which club? I'm going to start with you, Prof. Prof, talk to me.
Why did you start with Prof? You are starting when you are starting.
This is a setup.
This will be my first controversial answer today. I think every other thing has been pretty straightforward for me.
Right.
Look, the obvious answer here is the blue print, for a lot of people, I think. But I'll go for Arsenal. The reason why I'll go for Arsenal is because they started very well. They were odds on to win. We've said this time and time again. They were odds on to win the title, and to fall from that very high position that they were, to fall to where they were, to what they were at the moment, and to lose the ground the way they did, to capitulate the way they did, and not go for it. For me, is a huge disappointment. I mean, for Chelsea, they had lots of changes. There was no stability in that team. I think
don't worry, just speak.
Quickly. I just want to quickly say if there was stability in Chelsea and then they turned out this sort of performance, then I'll easily go for them. Too much changes, too much players. It was expected that they would crumble, and they did. So, but for Arsenal, stability. They had their manager for 3 years. They signed good players. They were on top, flying, and then odds on to win the title, and then to lose it in that manner. They set an unwanted record. For me, disappointment of the season. Thank you very much.
All right, he says he's going for this great man, this great club, Arsenal. Moving on from Prof, I'm going to start with you, Robbie. Robbie, which club is the disappointment of the season?
For all these teams are disappointments, but it's so sad we just have to pick one. all of them are disappointing. I will go for Tottenham Hotspur because the beginning of the league they actually started very well, and we all thought they had something special to offer this season. But at the end of the day, they more or less capitulated from inside out. The whole breakdown started from inside the club, and of course, we all saw it there. So I will go for Tottenham Hotspur.
Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur says by Robbie. I'm going to go to Margaret. Maggie, which club is the most disappointment of the season? Talk to me.
Okay. Without much ado, I would say Liverpool. Because yes, I expected that look at it this way. Liverpool have been there, club has been there, At least I expected them to carry on from where they stopped last season. Last season they missed out on the title. So I expected them to do very well this season. They brought in few players, and club has been there. He's been able to get some of his players together. Fine. Sadio Mane left. There was a replacement. So I expected Liverpool to push Man City till the final. They all probably win the title this season, even though I was actually praying for them not to win it. But they actually disappointed me this season.
All right, you're saying Liverpool. All right, Kunle, which club will you go for among all these elected clubs we are looking at right now?
Definitely, without any doubt, it's going to be Chelsea because out of all of them, they are the lowest finishers. You could say okay, managerial changes, they brought in players and all, but I feel despite that, I feel it's still not enough to have gone down so low. I think yesterday was their was it not their 16th defeat of the season. I mean, they only have 11 wins, and I don't even know if they will even be able to make 50 points if they win their last game of the season. So I mean, for you not to even reach maybe at least 60 points, where you are having the likes of Brentford, Brighton, I mean, finishing ahead of you, I think that's very, very disappointing.
All right, you're saying Chelsea. Irate, over to you, Irate. Disappointment of the season.
Yeah, I would say all of the clubs have disappointed one way or another this season, honestly.
All right.
But I have to go for Tottenham because there was a lot of high expectations on Antonio Conte's team. Coming from last season where they made the top four, brought in the likes of Kulusevski, and they also brought in Richarlison in the summer. We expected them to kick on and even if not contend for the title, at least make a top four position, but they were not able to. And now they are fighting for Conference League. They are being rejected by managers and they don't have a sporting director. So the club is in disarray right now and they don't look like they have a direction. So for me, I'm going for Spurs.
All right, Lady Va, talk to me. Are you ready? Disappointment of the season, Liverpool or which one? Go ahead. Just
you have a new sugar daddy that breaks the transfer record for you, and you end up with 12 or maybe even 13th. I think it's Chelsea. Not just a disappointment, a very, very big disappointment. So for me, it's actually Chelsea.
Can you imagine? She's saying Chelsea. All right, Shaya, over to you right now. Which one are you going to go for? Is this Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea, or Liverpool? Talk to me.
Chelsea. No need to explain too much, Chelsea. I mean, they are meant to be ashamed of themselves. Like they've been a disgrace this season. I understand what Papa said.
You're already saying
Say which one is there?
Right.
It is day now. It is day.
Please.
Don't leave Prof. I beg. Don't leave Prof.
Hold on, Margaret. Because of our time. Can he talk to me? Disappointment of the season.
This is not even tough because first of all, I don't know what Spurs are doing there. They are always disappointing, so I don't know. Arsenal should not be here. Arsenal are not disappointing. Come on now, they gave Man City one for their money. So it has to be between Chelsea and Liverpool, and I dislike those two clubs.
I'm telling you,
so it has to. I think I'll go with Chelsea. You can't spend almost 700 million pounds and you're acting like a beggar on the streets. Spend almost 700 million pounds and you still can't do it. So it's definitely Chelsea.
Banger word. You can't be a billionaire and be begging on the streets. The coach of the season. Forget about it. If you don't understand it, forget about it. All right, talk to me. It's gonna be Ace in the building. Ace, talk to me.
So if we were to flip the switch, like let's just flip it. If it was Arsenal that spent over 600 million pounds and win the title in the manner which they did, I'm sure all fingers will be pointing to Arsenal saying they were disappointment of the season. Because how would a team spend over 600 million pounds or is it 600 million pounds and they cannot have identity? We keep hearing flimsy excuses. There's no stability. Players got injured. Managers sacked. Who gives a hoot? Like, we know what the Premiership is about. It's competitive business. When you're starting the season, nobody is giving a head start. Nobody is giving undue advantage. Everybody starts again. And all look up to me. And Chelsea, I was looking at Chelsea and I'm hearing we're going to be better next season. Looking at Newcastle, they have identity already. Looking at Brighton, they have identity already. Well managed. Yeah. Looking at Arsenal, too. Look at Manchester United. Eric Ten Hag, whether we want to crucify him or say he's not the best manager or he's not the best person that will take Manchester United back to the glory days, there is identity there. That is 4 teams. And the behemoth is there already. The unmentionable, the daddy of all daddies, which is Man City. They are there. I've mentioned 4 teams plus Man City 5. And you're telling me that Chelsea Poch will come and all of a sudden do wonders, do miracles. Even when it was a Southampton, it took him 3 seasons. Even despite he had a good recruitment team that was working in Southampton then. Now all of a sudden, Liverpool had dried up all the Southampton players. Brighton is now the next big thing when it comes to churning out players, giving to other teams. But Poch, we saw what he did in Spurs. At first, it didn't really get cracking. But for me, it's not as if there's any bias anywhere. But looking at face value, looking at the facts, and looking at all the pointers we have in front of us, that is what I'm using to make my judgment. Chelsea is the most disappointing team of this season for me.
All right. The most disappointing team of the season, it goes to Chelsea. No doubt about it. It's Chelsea. All right. Do we have any other one? Yes. It's going to be the worst signing of the season. I have Mukaila Modric from Chelsea. I have Richarlison of course, and this guy yesterday was in the mud. Wesley Fofana, Chelsea. I'm going to start off with you, Margaret, again. You'll be the first starter of this one. Which one will you take? Get out of here. Talk to me.
I will go for Richarlison.
Richarlison.
Yeah, because I would mention Modric. He came into England. This is his first season, and he came into a team that were actually not doing very well.
Yeah.
And Richarlison has been in the Premier League. He has played with Everton. So I actually thought by when him going to Tottenham, he's going to do very well. But he actually disappointed me.
All right. He's going to say Richarlison. I'm going to Kunle, talk to me. Which one of them is the worst signing of the season?
Well, I think for me, I would go for Wesley Fofana.
Wesley Fofana.
Yes, I know. Well, yeah, they will be like, oh, he spent a lot of time out with injuries. I feel those injuries are part of. I feel part of the disappointment. If he's injured for that long, it's part of the disappointment. Yes, even though we might say, okay, they don't have power over, they don't have power over that and all, but it doesn't change the fact that there were high expectations on this guy. When you look at the price tag, even though me personally, I tell people, don't look at price tag, but in the world we live in, you look at price tag, right? You're supposed to bring in defensive stability and all. But the few times he has played, he's not really been there, and Chelsea have just not been it at all. So I think I would put him as the worst signing of the season.
All right, Wesley, over to you. Irate, will you? 3 of these signings is the worst signing for you, Irate?
I mean, we can make a case for all 3 of them, but for me, I'll go for Modric because of there was so much fanfare when this guy came in, and he was really hyped up. I was expected to see what can this guy actually bring to the Premier League, to the team, and even some fans were making fun of us now. Oh, Modric Toros. I'm like, okay, let's see what this guy can do. But I mean, not only at the club level, even at international level, he can't just get a kick. He doesn't know where the net is. I really don't know how he's worth that amount of money. I mean, we can say Richarlison, he had different tactical changes. Kulusevski at times, Son at times, and there was more of like a rotation at Tottenham. And even if you give me these 2 players right now, I would still pick Richarlison. He has a Premier League pedigree already. So, but Modric, he has not had a kick, not one kick since he came in. He has been bad in every game. I can't remember a game this guy has been good since he came in this season. So for me, I would say it's Modric.
Modric for you. Irate, Modric for you. Now, Lady Va,
you
talk to me. Which one?
You want us to go to Arsenal. Remember?
Yeah. All right. I think I lost Lady Va there. Shaya, talk to me. Which one is the worst signing of the season? Shaya, to you.
I think I'll have to go for Wesley Fofana. I wasn't convinced by the signing in the first place. I felt for someone who has had problems with injuries, buying him for that much was a bit weird. And then he has not cleared my doubts since then. To be fair, it's a tough call between Fofana and Richarlison, but I'll go for Fofana because he's yet to convince. He makes basic mistakes. I feel he relies a lot on his recovery pace, and I don't think that will get him far. So he needs to improve on so many things in his game going forward.
All right, Lady Va, you're back. Talk to me. Which one of these 3 players is the worst signing of the season for you?
I think I'm torn between Richarlison and Modric, but I will go for Modric actually, because if you check the amount of money they got him for and the impact he had on the club actually, for me definitely it's a no. It's Modric for me.
All right, Modric for you. Always Modric. All right, Kani, do you have anyone you want to pick out of this 3, the worst signing of the season, Kani?
Muniru. It has to be Muniru. It's Muniru, man.
Modric of Chelsea, the mod. Oh my goodness.
Fofana, I don't even really care about him that much. I've always known, fine, when he was in Center 10, it was okay. Him and Saliba, I remember they were both in the team of the season, at the youngest centre back pairing in the French League 1. Richarlison, I'd say injuries, he has not been really consistent. I remember I had that row with Conte. Obviously, in the Premier League, he has not really done well. He got some goals for them in the Champions League. But there's just something about Modric for me. It feels like, when 2 people use one man to do money laundering, that's what it feels to me. It feels like Chelsea and Ukraine, Chelsea and Shakhtar. They just did this deal and just brought in a robot. I don't know if was it Sheye or somebody said he doesn't even know where the net is. He had like 2 chances to score yesterday against Man United.
Oh my
And
goodness.
he's like, he deliberately does these things. And they just make me laugh. They just make me laugh. He doesn't know how to dribble. Even the pace he was brought in for that he was recognized for.
That's the player Arsenal want to buy you. You remember? They wanted
Like, do you
to buy
understand?
you.
That's what I'm saying. I'm very happy for them anyways. Like, if we just come, just spoil their team. But like, it has to be him, man. The price tag, the stature of the signing, the club he came into, it is just all around terrible. It was just it. He's an example of the type of deals not to do. That's just it. It is definitely.
Guys, wait up. Don't please. I feel it's too early to judge Modric. Modric came in this season and he has had just 15 appearances. He came in January, not like at the beginning of the season.
But it is not too early to judge. But it's not too early to judge Giuseppe, right?
He made just 15 appearances, and then you're comparing him to a Richarlison who have been in Tottenham since the beginning of the season.
Please, can I ask you a question,
guys?
Maggie, what club do you support? Maggie, please, what club do you support?
I'm Man United fan. I'm Man U.
Okay, do you think Antonio has had a good season?
But he's not on the list.
No, I'm asking. This is a direct question. Do you think Antonio?
He's not on the list.
I'm just asking you a question. It's a friendly question.
No.
Do you think Antonio?
No,
fair.
Both of you go to court. Go to court.
No, fair. He had a fair season. I would say fair.
He had a fair season. So if he's coming in, he doesn't. Sorry. Antonio doesn't even speak English. Modric speaks English, and he doesn't know where the net is. Like, net is 3-letter words. NET. He doesn't know where it is.
Anthony has been in Man United since the beginning of this season. But Modric came in January and he has made just 15 appearances. Moreover, I just know that it wasn't like he wanted to go to Chelsea. It was Arsenal. That was his first love. But then someone taking you from your first love and taking you to where your heart was never on. So what do you expect? He is not settled yet.
Nah, I don't.
All right, guys. I think I've seen 2 individuals that will be doing sports debates starting from next season. Irate, do you submit to that? Do you agree with this? These guys are phenomenal. Margaret,
100%.
Kanye will be handling our show. Sport debate show is going to be loud as from next season. So, Margaret, you're welcome to the. All right, I'm going to switch. Robbie, which one is the worst signing of the season?
Well, I know the shout. I would go with Mikhail Modric because of the circumstances surrounding his deal. Then, secondly, for the fact that Maggie, you can't make this argument based on the fact that Mikhail Modric came half of the season. That is the reason why you have 2 transfer windows every year. You have the summer transfer window, you have the winter transfer window. So, and people's performances are just based on that. Now, maybe you made your point and nobody interrupted you. I am just trying to make you understand that. So, if you are saying that because Mikhail Modric came in January, it should not be judged on that, then you should not also judge the Brighton coach who took over also middle of the season as well. But he has been able to turn around the fortunes of Brighton and Hove Albion that we all are supporting at this point in time. It is a no-brainer. You're a footballer. You're supposed to hit the ground running. That is just why you're a professional footballer. So for me, I would go with Mikhail Modric as the flop of the season.
Modric, and also right now I'm going to turn to Prof. You are live. Which one is the worst of the season? Talk to me, my brother from another mother. Talk to me.
Thank you very much. First off, I want to give a shout out to Margaret. I think your football knowledge is very, very apt. Good football insight from you. First of all, Mikhail Modric, a young player thrown into Premier League waters, the most difficult league in the world. In January, into a team who obviously can't get their bearing. How do you? I think if you put Modric in an Arsenal team, I think he does better than what he does now. But yeah, what do I know? Richarlison had Premier League pedigree. Should know better. Played for Watford, played for Everton. But then was signed for big money and fumbled. Wesley Fofana, one of the most promising young centre backs in world football before Chelsea signed him. He came into the team, got a serious injury, was out for long. But the only problem the boy has is he doesn't know how to play with injuries. So he should go and learn how to play football while being injured. So for me, Richarlison is my signing. Is my
All
worst
right, Richarlison. Now, Ace, you're going to break this record for us because we're having like Modric, 4 people talking about Modric and also Richarlison too. So, Ace, which one will you go for? Is it Richarlison, Modric, or
Don, you don't even need to ask. You know who I'm going for. You know who I'm going for. You know why? Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? Who do you think I'm going for? Me. Don.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Who do you think I'm going for? Because I see that you're laughing.
I'm going. Lady Vac can even testify to it. He knows.
No, okay. I'm going to bust your bubble. I'm not going for Modric. I'm not going for Modric. So I'm going to take a chunk of what Margaret said, a chunk of what Kani said, and a chunk of what Robbie said. You know, we cannot do this. We can't say De Zerbi is the best manager, best team. He came in half season. And we can also use that front to judge Modric, because Modric, we know that deal was laced. There's a lot of political intricacies laced within that deal. We saw what happened. We all knew. Even we could see from his standpoint when he was unveiled, he wasn't happy. Cynics might say maybe we don't know what we're saying. We know. I might not have information, but looking deep within that dude, he didn't want to go for Chelsea. But because of the political undertone that was laced within that deal, he just had to obey his principle. Like they say in the political world, you have to obey your principle. So he just had to go in principle, which is Shakhtar Donetsk. But for me, I'm going to go for Richarlison. Because I mentioned it at the beginning of the season. Because I knew, I don't want to mention names here. I knew people that came for me. When I mentioned this guy. And I remember on that episode, someone used the phrase to say maybe I was drunk. I didn't know what I was saying. I mentioned it and I said the only game you would see Richarlison thrive would be against Arsenal. And if you notice, even at the Emirates, the only thing he did was win that penalty for Spurs, and that was it. Flop of the season. I don't care about what anybody's going to say, but this dude right here, being bought for £60 million from Everton, has played in Watford. They understand how the Premiership works. You can't say he's not new or he doesn't understand the terrain. He knows what comes with the territory. And for him to give such a performance in a full season from August to May, just 2 goals or 1 goal, it's shambolic. It's a shame. It's the worst signing of the season.
Worst signing of the season. This is going to come. We're going to come to the end of this show. It's been a fantastic.
John, can I say something? John, can I add something?
Oh, is that Kani? Oh, yeah, Kani.
Yes, Kani.
All right.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something. Yeah. See, in sports, as much as acclimatization is very, very important, and all of these. See, certain things trump other things. For example, and I respect what Prof said, but you need to understand that if you come into an environment as a young guy, obviously, Chelsea were not doing very well and all of that. Yeah. But you've got to understand that when you look at these guys' performances, you pick performances, you look at effort, you look at charisma. Richarlison did not have a good season. Nobody's saying he did. He didn't score goals. We know him. He scores goals. He fights. He does his. But Richarlison still gave that bite. You could see it every time. He was unlucky a lot of times where he would have scored and little margins via, I would say, offside. We all saw that. We all watched this football. We saw him play for Tottenham in the Champions League. Got about 2 or 3 goals for them. These things happen. But when you watch Mikalo, please tell me one good thing that brother does. It's funny to me because this guy like 3 or 4 years.
God bless you. God bless you, brother.
He only got 12 goals. So how will you come spend almost £100 million on somebody that scored 12 goals in a lesser league in Ukraine? He speaks English. He comes to the Premier League. He's been in Premier League for 6 months, and you cannot pick and say, okay, this guy, he played well in this game, who can score, or he did well in it. You watch Richarlison play, you see the hustle, you see the desire. He scored goals, margins, VAR margins, Rudolph his goal. Sometimes there was one he scored against, I think, I don't know, was it Brighton? They said handball. So you watch these things. But there's no. I want to task anybody on this platform. Tell me one single game that you've seen Mikhailo Modric play and you say, there's a player in this guy.
Sorry, to pick between Awoniyi and Richarlison, who has had the better season?
Awoniyi, by far.
So on what grounds did you choose that? On what grounds did you make that decision?
So first of all,
on what grounds did you pick?
Yeah, I need to
because you were in hustle, body language, Awoniyi, all that. Awoniyi put that on the pitch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why you make the argument easy.
At the end of the day, striker is being judged by this number of goals you put at the back of the net. That's why I keep telling Manchester United fans, you keep riling or you keep putting a lot of stunts on De Gea. Yeah, we know De Gea doesn't fit in the brackets of the new goalkeeper and sensation way of playing out from the back. But the number one function of a goalkeeper is to save. And De Gea saves Manchester United all day, all night, 3 times on a Sunday. So for me,
you have to evolve with time. Let me tell you something. If you take a David De Gea and put him in, say, an Arsenal team, they are 100% going to be in trouble, even though he saves shots. But even coming back to your argument about saving shots, I like breaking down numbers. If you look at the Premier League as a whole, the highest ranked goalkeeper this season is Alisson. I don't know if you know that. It's Liverpool's Alisson, and he conceded a lot of goals. But you know what? In terms of XG saves, Alisson ranks at plus 9.8, meaning of all the goals he has conceded, if not for him in goal, Liverpool would have conceded about 10 to 15 more.
Wow.
David De Gea is in minus 1.8 or minus 1.9, I think they're about, before the Chelsea's game. So I don't know what he is at the moment. Before I'm sorry. So let me finish.
Most of the time, I'm going to come to this angle again. If Marcus Rashford playing the whole of this, Tottenham played in the Europa, or is it Champions League? Champions League. Manchester United played in the Europa, played in FA Cup. Tottenham too played in all competition. And at the end of the day, Marcus Rashford, with all the hustle that you keep saying, with all the mission he keeps putting on the pitch, and all he could make up for the whole season is 2 goals. What would you rate Marcus Rashford's season as?
I would say he had a poor season, and I never said Richarlison had a good season. I kept hammering on it that he had a bad season.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, if you look at it, terrible season by his own standards. And if you, I don't know if you heard the last interview he had while he had that row with Conte. He said it by himself. Kunle, you should attest to this. We did it on the news on our station. He attested to this. He said it. He said he knows that by himself he's had a very poor season. But I'm saying when you are ranking something as the most terrible player or maybe the worst signing of the season, you've got to look at a lot of factors. Carlo has not been injured. Richarlison has been injured for a long period this season. Don't forget that he has been put. He was even out of the rotation when he had that row with Conte. Don't forget that there was a particular game he came back.
Text here is entire season. The entire season. Mikhailo Modric came in January, for God's sake. So why would you not want to put him?
He has played just
Modric came in January, so why did you not wait till the summer to make that switch?
I got to go.
If you're arguing about that, when did Cody Gakpo come? When did Cody Gakpo come?
What's the problem? Ferguson started playing for Brighton in January. He has banked 8 goals.
I'm going to tell you guys.
Hold on, Rob. Sorry. Some players settle in quickly, some don't. Kanye, I want to ask you a question. What is Mikhailo? We all know Richarlison standard, right? What is Mikhailo Modric standard? Do you know his standard? We don't even know his standard yet.
Well, I think Chelsea can tell us his
Which even
standard.
buttresses
You
my
guys
point.
So Chelsea went to buy a player with no standard.
Exactly. So you guys went to buy a player with no standard. Is that what you're
no Premier League standard now.
You are winning this. You are winning
Then
the
why did you
argument
go
for
and buy him?
I think
Lady Van, help me, help.
Why did you buy a player with no standard?
right now, Chelsea actually buying Modric. Actually, it was a panic buy. So the panic buy. Not if they were actually prepared to buy him. But for the fact that Arsenal went for him, they went and get this guy.
Let's call a spade a spade. In terms of quality, they are not mates. I said it before. If you put down Richarlison and Modric in front of me, all day long,
you buy Richarlison 250,000 times.
Modric is even yet to do absolutely. The only thing he's doing now is missing goals. So please,
It's not even missing goals. It's not even missing goals. The only thing he's doing is doing mannequin challenge, standing in front of goal.
He has a
What is
standard.
he
He has
doing?
a Premier League standard, and he has still built up to that. Modric just came in and
He has not. Yeah.
Modric does not have the standard. You cannot
Yeah,
score 12 goals in 4 years.
I remember there was a time. There was no
Your argument is
reason to debate.
4 years, and they spent 80-something million on him. What
Yes.
is him? What recruitment?
12 goals in 4 years. In one of the most dominant leagues in the world. 12 goals in 4 years. The word standard should not even be used here. You should find another lesser word to use. Standard is
Guys, came in January. Several other players came in January. It's not the
and they
only
did
player.
well.
So please,
And they did well.
And they did
If
well.
we get girls that normally run up and down like us, Man U fans still appreciate him.
Have we thought about the team? Me, I'm still hitting on the team.
Which team?
I'm still hitting on the team. That he went to. Modric went to a team that were not stable. A team that has no owners. A team that have changed 3 managers in a season. What are you guys saying? What do you think on that list for anything?
Was Chelsea the only team that changed manager?
Didn't Tottenham change managers?
Even when Conte
Only
was
you are
there,
too
he
silent
was
for me.
Conte
You are too
was
silent.
when he was there.
Tell them to go to court.
That's the only way to settle it.
Mike.
All right, guys.
I'm sorry. Can I say something? João Felix was in that same Chelsea team. Came this same January. He's just a few months or maybe something older than Modric. So you can't even use the age argument. You can't use the transfer argument. He was even on loan. If anybody should be working like someone that they've not paid salary, it should be João Felix because he came on loan. They use 88 million pounds, British pounds to buy you, and you're playing as if they owe you money. You'll be in front of post. It's like you're doing mannequin challenge, like you wore Batman shade. You can't see post. And you're telling me that
João Felix, someone guy, we all saw him perform. We all saw him how he did he has been scoring goal with Atletico Madrid.
Enzo Fernandez came in January. Enzo Fernandez came in January. Enzo came in January.
He came in January.
Apple came in January. People are making January seem like
Maggie, what are you talking now? Was Fernandez not in January signing?
Lagos came in January.
Was Fernandez
in January? Sabisa has more goals than him.
Yo, what is it? Is it Kana or Kaka? Kana. Is that your name? Is that Kani? You know what I'm going to hold you as because you said it initially. You're biased because you said you have dislike for Chelsea. So I can understand the angle you're coming from.
See, I'm one of the most. I like numbers.
If you talk to me with numbers,
If you talk to me with numbers,
let me tell you
numbers. You can't argue numbers. Me, I don't do kuda. It's numbers. If you beat nobody as a midfielder and he has more goals than you, that you are a forward. Modric played more games than Sabisa came in the same January.
Let's look at things properly now. When Tottenham signed him from what's it called? From Everton, we all knew Tottenham made Champions League, and they thought Richarlison could take them to that level to compete.
I'm sorry,
in the Champions League.
The level that we came did not take them to. Please, let's be serious, please.
No. You can't put. See, let me tell you something. You can't put that X amount of money on someone. Like you said, they bought Calamuji for 88 million pounds. but he was bought for £60 million. Someone with Premiership experience, you can't take that out. Regardless of however we want to spin the narrative, this guy has spent 4 seasons or 5 seasons already in the EPL, and you get to it.
Has more Champions League goals than Kane this season. Do you know?
All right, guys, this is how far we can go tonight. Thank you, everybody that joined us, contributed so much effort on this game. Lady Va, thank you so much for joining us. It is what it is. Lady Va, thank you so much. Bye for now.
Thank you, Don. Thank you, everybody. We hope to continue this argument next week. Yeah, good night.
That's what I'm telling you. We have to be back next week for this topic. All right, thank you. Kule, thank you so much for joining us. You've been silent. You're just looking at. Tell them they should go to court.
Yeah, that's the only way I've said it. That's the only way they can settle it. Thanks so much for having me, Don.
All right, thank you so much. Prof, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much, Prof.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right. And also, Irate, thank you so much. It's been a fantastic show tonight.
Thanks, Don. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, you've been silent. Tell them, let them go to court.
No mind them, they can go to court for all I care. Well, yeah, it was great to be on today's show.
All right, beautiful people. Like on the video. Robbie, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much for having me this evening, Didon.
All right, people.
This is how far we can go tonight. I'm telling you, I enjoyed today's show. Got the Istv crew Season Award. It's been a fantastic moment. I tell you, I swear down, it's beautiful people, beautiful things happening on this channel. Please, if you are not joining us, what are you waiting for? Please smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and it's gonna be a fantastic time. All right, Kani, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you, Don. Thank you, Don. It was nice, chatting football with a lot of you guys, Maggie, Prof, Kunle, and the rest that I didn't mention their names. Thank you very much for having me. Hopefully, I'll come again and talk some sport.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. People, it's been a fantastic moment. This is how far the dawn can go tonight. It's really stretch. It's a stretch moment. All right, leaving it on this note. We'll meet on Monday for another edition, different topic entirely. But please do me a favor. This is how far we can go, and also help us smash the like on the video, share this video, and we could be trending. And by next season, we're coming so big. The website is just around the corner, and you know what I mean. It's gonna be massive. Please join us. I love you guys. One love, people.
Subscribe now.